Hi, welcome to TUTV. I'm Catherine Stenning.
And I'm Joe McCurdy. So, Kat, how was your weekend?
Thank you for asking, Joe.
Of course.
Well, we actually had a race this weekend.
Oh, really? How'd you do?
Well, we actually, which you would have found out in the sports segment, but
I feel bad.
Joe left it out. So I will tell you all. We actually won 6 of 8 of our races. So, yes, very successful. The 1V and the 2V both won both of their races, and the 2v4 as well. So, and then.
What does that mean?
So basically, the 1v8, so our first boat and our second boat won both of their races, and our fourth boat won both of theirs, and our third boat came second. So it's a really successful weekend, really good start to the season. It was our season opener, and we raced OU, Kansas State, and Central Oklahoma. So. Well,
that's great. I'm very proud of you. And this is just, my way of, trying to bring awareness, even though I may have left it out of the sports stories.
He actually just wanted to make it more personal and have the rower herself tell the story.
It's basically an interview at the start of the show. All right, we'll get back to you. We got some more stories for you, so we'll see you soon.
Welcome to TUTV, your go-to source for all the latest news and updates from our campus and beyond.
I'm Jono, and let's jump into the news. 4 Americans were kidnapped at gunpoint at Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Mexico on Friday after being fired upon by unidentified shooters. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of the kidnappers and the safe return of their kidnapped Americans. U.S. Ambassador to Mexico Kevin Salazar said in a Monday statement that, quote, "We have no greater priority than the safety of our citizens. This is the U.S. government's most fundamental role. U.S. law enforcement officials from numerous agencies are working with Mexican authorities at all levels of government to secure the safe return of our compatriots," and end quote. The case is under investigation by the FBI and Mexican law enforcement, and no further details have been provided on the abduction or of the victims.
Dozens of people have been detained by Atlanta police after a violent protest at a new police training center. Protesters dressed in all black threw large rocks, bricks, Molotov cocktails, and fireworks at police officers on Sunday, resulting in the destruction of multiple pieces of construction equipment at the facility under construction dubbed as Cop City. No officers were injured during the incident, and law enforcement officials used restraint and non-lethal enforcement methods to disperse the crowd and detain those involved. Police have described the incident as, quote, "a coordinated attack," end quote, on equipment and officers by individuals who used the cover of a peaceful protest to access the premises, according to an article published by CBS. The incident follows prior demonstrations and the death of a protester in the forest where the training center is being built. More protests are planned in the coming days.
A train crash in Greece that killed 57 people and left 56 missing has sparked a political row over safety on the country's rail network. Most of the passengers on the trail were in their 40s and 50s, leading to an outpouring of grief and anger among Greeks who see themselves as having lost peers. Eleftheria Polizou from Kastraki said in a statement to Al Jazeera that, quote, "We pass each other on the street, our eyes meet, and nobody knows what to say," end quote. The train station master has confessed to sending the train down the wrong track, but other officials and commentators say he has been used as a scapegoat for an absence of automated safety systems that were once present through the Greek rail network. The track where the accident occurred is scheduled to be operational by March 10th.
The Tulsa area chapter is celebrating the 80th annual American Red Cross Month by honoring individuals. President Joe Biden is continuing the tradition as it enters its 80th year. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt and Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum have declared March as Red Cross Month. Everyone is invited to participate in the celebrations during the month of March by making a financial donation, giving blood, becoming a volunteer, or taking a class in life-saving skills.
Apple is reportedly set to release a new 24-inch iMac featuring Apple's next-generation M3 system on a chip and other improvements, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. The iMac is expected to enter volume production in the coming months and will come in the same colors as its 2021 predecessor. Apple is also set to release a 15-inch variant of the MacBook Air, as well as a refresh of the 13-inch model and its first Apple Silicon MacBook Pro, which could all arrive between late spring and sometime this summer.
So, are you an Apple user?
You know, a little bit. I'm honestly not very proud to say it, but yeah, I mean, I do have a MacBook and I have an iPhone. In terms of tablets, though, I enjoy my Android tablet. I know it's a controversial opinion. It gets the job done, I'm just saying.
Wow, so you have the whole suite, but just for the tablet, you decided to go Android.
No, yeah, well, I mean, Apple tends to have pretty standard sizing when it comes their tablets, and Android has a lot more variation, so.
Very
get
true.
The big tablet, yeah.
All right, that's all for this week.
All right, see y'all.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Caneflix Picks, the show where we recommend to you some of the best films streaming on Caneflix, UTulsa's streaming service, which is free for all students. This week, we'll be recommending to you some of the best comedies streaming on Caneflix so that you can wind down and relax during your spring break with some nice comedies. My first recommendation this week is Logan Lucky. This comedy heist film from Steven Soderbergh is best described as Ocean's 11, which takes place in the South. The film stars Channing Tatum as a down-on-his-luck father who has just lost his job. He, along with the help of his brother, played by Adam Driver, and a local criminal named Joe Bang, who is played by Daniel Craig, rob a NASCAR speedway during the day of a big race. The film has all of the fun and excitement of a heist, with Soderbergh's sense of humor that those familiar with the Ocean's trilogy will be aware of, which can be gut-wrenchingly funny. I recently rewatched this film on Caneflix last week and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think you will too.
2011's Bridesmaids was a watershed moment in mainstream studio comedies, as its massive success helped establish Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy, and Rose Byrne as Hollywood box office royalty. The film centers on Wiig's character Annie as she fights her own insecurities while being a bridesmaid to Maya Rudolph's character Lillian. The film was praised for its nuanced portrayal of female friendship and its over-the-top yet detailed gross-out comedic sequences. Written by Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo, the script is dense on both jokes and emotional moments, resulting in a compelling and satisfying comedy.
During your days off, you can sit back, relax, and watch Ferris Bueller enjoy his day off. My second pick this week is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a film I find myself returning to when I need to relax and laugh. There's not much more to be said for one of John Hughes' classic 80s movies with Matthew Broderick at the center. What I can say is that if you're looking for somewhere to stream this film right now, Caneflix is your only destination to stream this film. So if you're hoping to return to this classic for a fun rewatch, you can check it out on Caneflix.
Knives Out released to modest box office success in late 2019, but has endured in popularity over the past few years to become one of the most popular and discussed works in recent American cinema. The ensemble cast features highlight performances from Ana de Armas, Chris Evans, Toni Collette, Lakeith Stanfield, and Daniel Craig, all complemented by memorable and detailed costume design from Jenny Egan. Rian Johnson's script and direction keep the mystery alive with the perfect pace all the way through to the last scene of the film, completing a unique and modern film that deservedly established Johnson as one of the most popular working directors today.
If you want a fun double feature of Daniel Craig doing Southern accents, you can check out Knives Out and Logan Lucky back to back. But that's all we have time for this week, so we'll see you next time with more recommendations of what's streaming on Caneflix.
See you soon, guys.
Welcome back to TUTV. I'm Joe McCurdy, and we're here with Joosie Cooly to talk about student association. So why don't you introduce yourself, Joosie?
Yeah, I'm Joosie. I'm the Springfest event lead. I've been in Cabinet is the side of student association that I've been in. I've been in it for 3 years now. So
Great. Well, you talked about Springfest. I obviously last year was my first year here, and I've enjoyed. I believe what was the
Trivera.
Trivera. Yes. Great first event. So what's in store this year?
So we have 3-week events. Monday is going to be a garden party with picnic food, and we're going to plant succulents and gas pedal flowers. Wednesday is our disco cowboy event with cowboy hat decorating, tacos from Foxy Tacos, petting zoo. Thursday is going to be a cocktails and karaoke kind of event. TEDx Tulsa is also going to be on campus, so we're kind of partnering with them. But yeah, karaoke's and cocktail, obviously.
Okay.
And then Saturday, we're doing a little bit of a different direction than last year. We're going to do more of like a music festival. Cane'Cella is what we're calling it.
Gotcha.
So not going to be the traditional concert, but still going to be live music.
All right. Well, that'll be fun. And if people want more information, where should they go to, kind of learn more or, reach out?
There will be more information posted on the SA Instagram.
Okay. And obviously, you're involved in SA, and a lot of changes have been going on with Student Association. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so some of the recent things that have been going on is on the ballot, they passed a bill to change the name from SA to SGA, just a little bit more universal all over the country. Most people, you say SA and they're like, what is that? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, my student government association. So just trying to be like more universal.
And not to be confused with Shea Gilgis-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder,
Obviously.
Other than, anything else? Do you want to, what's going on? I obviously see you're part of Kappa Kappa Gamma.
Yeah.
Any personal plugs,
As of right now, nothing going on. Definitely, if you want to be involved in Greek life, sign up for recruitment. It's a great time. So.
All right. Well, I think that'll do us. Thank you, Joosie, for coming on. I really appreciate you. And we'll head back to the desk. Thank you. Good to see you again. I'm Joe McCurdy.
And I'm David Stump, and welcome to TUTV Sports. We have some awesome stories for you today, so let's jump right in. Tulsa women's basketball team's run in the American Conference tournament has come to a close as they suffer a first-round exit after losing to the UCF Knights with a score of 69-53. Tamira Poindexter led the Golden Hurricane with 16 points and 5 rebounds. Poindexter was the only TU player that cracked double-digit points, with seniors Maya Mayberry and Maddie Biddle combing for a 1-14 from 3 and 13 points in total. This comes just a little under a week after Tulsa beat the Knights 70-60 on senior night last Wednesday. Tulsa ends their season with a 17-13 record, sitting at 6th in the American. Tulsa's season was plagued with injuries, which led them to lose 10 of their last 12 games. We'll see if Tulsa will make a return to the NIT tournament, which would make 2 straight years for Tulsa.
Tulsa men's soccer got their revenge against FC Tulsa this past Saturday as the Golden Hurricane secured the 2-1 victory over the professional club centered in Tulsa. After their 4-0 loss a week ago, Tulsa was looking to put up more of a fight and get their first win of their spring season. Tulsa started their scoring off with Temple transfer Mike Eigendall scoring his first goal as a Golden Hurricane, assisted by Alvaro Torrijos. FC Tulsa answered rather quickly, scoring off a free kick with 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Tulsa pulled away, however, with a second half goal from Sergio Baena and won the match 2-1.
Tulsa softball had an entertaining weekend with their first home tournament as they were slated to face off against number 24 ranked Missouri Tigers, South Dakota State, and Tarleton State. Tulsa started their home season with a no-no as sophomore pitcher Mara Moore threw only the 23rd no-hitter in school history against Tarleton State. Winning that match up 8-0, then losing the next night game against South Dakota State 7-1, Tulsa came out on Saturday with a statement upset victory over 24th-ranked Missouri, as Tulsa beat the Tigers 6-5 after a walk-off single scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning, giving the Golden Hurricane the victory. Tulsa will be back in action this weekend as they face Northern Iowa and Sam Houston State at home.
The Tulsa women's golf team finished 13th in the Icon Invitational on Tuesday as the Hurricanes shot a final round of 265 for a 54-hole total of 874 on the par 72 Golf Club of Houston course. Senior Lily Thomas placed 20th overall with a 3 under par score of 213 after turning in a round of 75 on Tuesday. Freshman Grace Kilcrease was next for the Hurricane after today's round of 74 gave her a 54-hole total of 2 over par 218 for 48th place. Sophomore Sydney Sagal turned in her best round of the tournament and the top final round of the Hurricane with a 1 under par 71. She finished the tournament at 3 over par 219 at 51st place overall. Tulsa will be back in action next at the Trinity Forest Invitational March 6th to 7th at the Trinity Forest Golf Club in Dallas, Texas.
Tulsa men's tennis have their last 2 matches, with their first coming up at the hands of Pepperdine and the second coming at the hands of Memphis. Pepperdine handled the Golden Hurricane pretty handily, with the Waves winning the match 4-1. Tulsa's lone point came from singles win Vladimir Zakharov. Memphis also handled Tulsa, beating the Golden Hurricane 4-2, with Tulsa's only points coming from Cody Pearson in his singles match and a victory in the doubles match by Ezekiel Santala and Stephen Hamp. Tulsa currently sits at 5-5 overall. So, Joe, I noticed a disturbing lack of rowing stories this week.
You're gonna gripe on me about that too?
Catherine kind of asked me to do this, so we got to rub it in. You know,
well,
what was going on, man?
See, you know, I wanted to put the stories in.
Oh, okay.
It's been a very stressful week.
Understand.
And, you know, my sources didn't have a story on rowing. So if we're going to blame anyone, we should blame Tulsa Athletics for not having a story on our wonderful, wonderful rowing program.
Okay, well, I guess we'd better just hope that Tulsa Athletics has a rowing story next week, otherwise Catherine's going to be kind of mad.
A little bit.
Well, that's all the time that we have for this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming by.
Even with spring break fast approaching, there is still a lot going on around the University of Tulsa. Take a moment on Thursday the 9th to check out TU's newest building downtown. Now through April 22nd, the exhibit Work of Sovereignty will be on display. This show features photos and art by Native artists and explores the history and future of tribal nationhood. But also this Thursday the 9th, the Oklahoma Center for the Humanities will be featuring Andrew Ross speaking about automobiles, so-called freedom machines, that have become vehicles of unfreedom for so many. If music is more your style though, Thursday is also the concerts and commentary event in the LPC. Enjoy a concert and musical discussion with the TU School of Music faculty. And since it'll be on spring break over the Ides of March, IEEE will be having their Pie Day festivities in the Razor Hall lobby on Friday the 10th from 4 till 7. Have a slice of pie or 3.14. Of course, next week is spring break, so we hope you have a fun and restful week off. Stay tuned for more TUTV.
Hello, welcome to TUTV Entertainment. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Sarah. We have some exciting stories this week, so let's jump right in. After 6 years since his novel, Killing Commodore, released in 2017, Haruki Murakami will publish his new novel, The City and Its Uncertain Walls, on April 13th. Even though the availability of an English translation of his latest book is not known yet, the Japanese manuscript is around 1,200 pages, with the plot telling, quote, a story that has long been sealed, end quote. Murakami is well known as a perennial candidate for the Nobel Prize in Literature, with many international bestsellers such as Norwegian Wood, Kalfa on the Shore, and more. Promoting Murakami's new book, the publisher said, quote, must go to the city, no matter what happens. A locked-up story starts to move quietly as if old dreams are woken up and unraveled in a secluded archive, end quote.
Last Saturday, near the German Parliament building, some climate activists splashed a dark liquid over an artwork engraved with key articles from the country's constitution. They have also pasted posters over the work that read, "Oil or Fundamental Rights." The group argued that the German government doesn't protect their fundamental rights by continuing to burn oil. Responding to this issue, Parliament Speaker Barbara Bass said, quote, "Those are the fundamental rights on which demonstrators from last generation themselves base the justification for their actions. I can only hope that the glass plates of the artwork were not permanently damaged," end quote. Even though the work was cleaned right after the event, it stirred up great dissension from the last generation.
A future chapter of famous young adult novel The Outsiders will be a documentary about the Outsiders house in Tulsa. Last Thursday night at Circle Cinema, the founder and executive director of the Outsiders House Museum, Danny O'Connor, held an event inviting many filmmakers for a short preview to enlist financial support for the documentary. The house is located at 731 North St. Louis Avenue. It was once used as a filming site when Francis Ford Coppola shot The Outsiders in Tulsa in 1982. Being a super fan of the novel and movie, O'Connor bought and transformed it into a museum. The documentary about the Outsiders house is expected to be released in the fall of 2024.
Tulsa musician and vocalist Kathy Venable will be showcased during the Tulsa Choral's Hope and Glory on Friday, March 10th at Boston Avenue United Methodist Church. The program includes the Mass in G minor by British composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. Venable will accompany the choral on a portative organ. Venable said that these pieces are some of her lifetime favorites, and she described them as uplifting compositions by some of the finest poets in history, end quote.
The Queen of Rap made a comeback as Lil Wayne's surprise guest at Rolling Loud 2023 in California. Lil Wayne had planned for the surprise appearance for the audience to be a trip down memory lane as the duo would perform old and new tracks. However, their time was interrupted by numerous technical difficulties. Minaj became frustrated with the DJ and sound guy, saying, quote, "Kill the DJ, kill the sound guy," end quote. While Lil Wayne attempted to brush off the technical difficulties by dancing over the skipped track. After the performance, Minaj took to Instagram Live to address the issue, saying, quote, "Sound situation was unacceptable," end quote. She apologized for what happened as she was only a special guest. Okay, so The Outsiders. That, as an Oklahoma kid, is a super big deal. Whenever you're in the 8th grade, you all read The Outsiders together, and you talk as a class in your English, and you talk about how it's based in Tulsa, and the movie was filmed in Tulsa. So I'm really excited for this documentary. What are your thoughts?
I've never read it. I've never seen the movie.
Really?
So,
oh my gosh.
excited for you. Maybe I will give the movie a watch.
Yeah.
Maybe read the book. We'll see.
The book is pretty short, so it's not that big of a time commitment. It's 200 pages long, but super great book, super great. It's a female writer, which is kind of uncommon for the time. It was a really big deal. So I suggest giving it a read and a watch.
We'll do. Well, that's all we have time for this week. We'll see you next time.
Brad Carson Adventures Spring Break Special. You know, Goldie, spring break is just a few days away. We should go on vacation. Good idea, Brad. And I know where we can go. We can go on a cruise. I like the sound of rat. Great. I just need to send a quick email to all the TU parents. Ah, I needed this, Goldie. Read who, Brad? Goldie? Goldie! Goldie! Where are you? Brad, I'm over here. Did that coconut just talk? I'm going crazy! This is the island madness! Brad, I'm right over here. Oh, good. For a second I thought I was going crazy. Where are we, Brad? It looks like we washed up on a deserted island. Aw, Goldie, look, it's a little puppy. Brad, rat's not a ruppy, rat's a rhinosaur. Well, I guess I am going crazy. Goldie, we gotta get out of here! Goldie! Goldie, help! Wah! We're gonna need to get off this island, Goldie. I'm gonna have to make the call. Who you gonna roll, Rad?
Hello? President Carson? Okay, we're on our way, Mr. President. Alright, boys, let's lock and load.
Goldie, look! It's Campo!
We've got eyes on President Carson, and we also got eyes on the threat. Take him out. Firing now. I'm pretty sure that was a plant eater, but kill it anyway. Take those ones out too.
Okay, let's get you home, President Carson. Rad! Wake up! Oh, Goldie, I had the most incredible dream. We were on an island, and there were dinosaurs, and campus security saved us. Rad actually happened. You just fell asleep on a way rack.
That was great. I have so many questions. Like, that was like Castaway and Inception and Jurassic Park all mixed into one, and I loved it. So
I like those examples.
I think it was.
That one did make me laugh, I must say.
That was a good one. Well, we're gonna close out the show, and why not close it out based on what the events that happened last week?
Yes.
If you weren't on campus or live under a rock, we had a school lockdown.
Yeah, we did. For a potential active shooter who turned out to not be armed in the end, thankfully. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Obviously, my first experience of anything like that. And I didn't really know what to make of it.
I, luckily, was in my apartment with my dog when I got all the emails. And I immediately took to Yik Yak.
A lot of people have said that they did that.
One does. And man, TU students are comics in times of distress and violence.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I don't blame them, and I'm just glad that nothing bad happened. Otherwise, that would look pretty bad on us.
It would.
But I'm glad we're all safe. Nothing really happened. I'm pretty sure that they found.
They did in the end. I just remember messaging my mum, and I was just like, "Oh, don't mean to worry you guys, but I'm gonna be late to this meeting that they'd set up for me." And she just goes, "Ooh, that's exciting, isn't it?" I was like, "I don't think you quite understand the severity of this situation." And then she started doing some Googling, and then I think she understood that, it was actually pretty severe, and she was like, "Okay, please stay safe. Didn't mean to make light of the situation or anything."
Europeans, man. They're crazy.
Well, I think I didn't really realize it. Obviously, these things happen, but until it happens to you, it's, especially when you're not from this country, it sort of seems very, mystical almost, very far-fetched. So it was interesting for me to experience it and see how it all worked out and things, but I'm glad it all worked out okay and everyone's safe and everything got sorted, so yeah.
Well, I got out of class I called my mom around, 2:50, and I was like, "Don't go to class." I was like, "Okay."
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good week.
We'll see you next time. They're telling me to get off camera, so.
Sorry.
Tulsa men's soccer got their revenge.